Hey, everybody.
Nick, there's been a couple players. CJ made a comment on social media, and Darius kind of said something on his podcast, sort of about wondering why you guys are going to Brazil. How are you kind of managing how they're kind of framing it, and how you're kind of managing that?
Yeah, we're going there to play and win a football game. That's our goal. That's our our only goal as we go down there. And so, it's just getting everybody in the right mindset of what what you need to be when you go down there. It's like you can control the things that you can control. Like we're going to Brazil to play. That's what it is, and we're excited about that. We're excited about the opportunity to play in a neutral site, knowing that and have a slightly different schedule of things that happen. Like, you have a big bye coming, like a mini bye coming off of it. And so there are a lot of positives in it. And, it's also to spread the game to a new country, which is exciting. But make no mistake about it, like all those things right there are what they are. But we're going there to with one goal in mind and nothing else. So I think that's what the main thing that we're all saying is we'll control the things we need to control, and the team that just like when a game rains, the team that handles the rain and looks at the rain as that they're ready for it is going to be able to play better in the rain. Well, that's the same thing when you're going to a neutral site, whether it's London, whether it's wherever it is. And so, that will be good for us it's going to be good for us just to go play in this neutral site and handle the different things that pop up in the NFL. You play on a short week. Oh, this game got changed to that game. Like, these are things that you can't control. What we can control is our effort. What we can control is our attitude. What we can control is our core values, and that's what we're going to focus on this week.
What happened with Bradbury?
Yeah, he got dinged in practice, and he'll be out for a little bit. That's why we put him on IR.
Nick, what about the challenges physically, the long flight, guys sitting in the same position for a long time, dehydrated? How much conversation has there been about making sure you get to kick off physically okay?
Yeah, a lot. A lot. Again, you always want to handle things like we have great doctors and training staff and strength staff, and we've already talked about our plan of what the flight's going to look like, what the post flight's going to look like with the IVs and different things like that, because a flight like that can dehydrate you. But that's our job again. The flight is what it is. The 9-hour flight is what it is, or whatever that's going to be. Like, now control what you can control, your fluids getting in your body, like the IVs, the stretching, all the things that we're going to do to make sure that we're ready to go physically for this game.
At right guard, what did Beckton do to earn that job?
Obviously don't have to name any starters at any position yet, so you guys will see who rolls out there for game one. But Makai's had a good camp.
Hey, Nick, with the captains, Devontae is the only guy who was a captain last year and is not this year. Is that a conversation you have with him, like, just to manage?
Just because you're not, just because everyone, there's a lot of guys that got votes, right? I had to go with the guys that got the most votes there, and just because Devontae didn't have as many votes as some of the other guys doesn't mean he's not still a leader on this football team. And that goes for a lot of guys. That goes for Saquon, right? That goes for who's been a captain for many years. And again, this is Chauncey, like all these guys. And so just because they aren't the captain and have the C on their chest doesn't mean they're not the leaders of this football team. You just can only have so. Like last year, I felt like I had a couple too many. Again, it's just here's what the guys are voting, and here's where do you cut it off. It's always a tricky thing because there's a lot of guys deserving of it.
When talking about that?
Yeah, of course. We talk about everything. Connection is at the heart of what our program is, and of course, you talk to your guys when anything could be on their mind.
With Goddard and Rodgers, are they on schedule to play on Friday?
Yeah, you guys will get an injury report. I don't think what day? Tuesday, so you might not get it quite as early as you normally have. You guys kind of know my year 4 now. You kind of know where I am on injuries and talking about injuries and stuff like that. They're working hard to get back.
Hey, Vic has been pretty vocal about wanting more practices. How did you guys come to some sort of agreement on what he wants versus what you want?
Sure. I think if you talk to everybody's going to be selfish in their areas, like of, hey, everyone's going to want more as far as practice time or less practice time. Everyone's going to have a selfish ambition within it. And my job as the head coach is to kind of listen to all the information, kind of think about what, everybody's information, the position coaches, the coordinators, the doctors, the trainers, the strength coaches. Where are we? Like, what is the beat of the team of where we need to go as far as the age of our team, and where do I feel like we are rep-wise, offensively, not just only defensively, but offensively and special teams. So, yeah, Vic's definitely not shy about telling me. I love that I have a guy in Coach Fangio that he's going to tell me what he thinks, and from his perspective. You don't want guys that are just going to say, yeah, whatever you want. You want guys to be able to say, here's what I'm thinking, here's why I'm thinking it. Here, you're the head coach. Take this information as you need to. And so I've really valued his opinion and his thoughts, and even with practice today, how we're kind of doing practice today as far as the schedule of practice, and then a little bit later in the day, that was an idea that Vic had, and I'm like, man, I really like that for different reasons why. So again, I have to manage it from the 30,000-foot view, and other coaches obviously and other people they got to manage it from their point of view. And so again, it's trying to find the balance of what the team needs at the end of the day.
When it comes to offensive game planning, I know that was a really big role of yours in the past. How much does that change with Kellen here?
Yeah, obviously love going into the offensive game plan meetings and really had, obviously we're 2 days into, or we've been game planning a little bit longer than that, but, going in there and sitting in there and listening and contributing, but also being able to step out if I need to go talk to a player, being able to step out and, go talk to Howie about the roster, or being able to step out, go check in on the defense. I find that very freeing, that I'm able to stretch myself to different spots that I'm needed, and not have to be hunkered down into. You ask Howie, you'd be like, man, I couldn't see Nick for Monday, Tuesday after the players left. It just wasn't a lot of opportunities. But being able to do that is really important. But also being able to give my expertise in the offensive room is really important as well. Because an offensive game plan is not just particularly the games, the plays that you call. It's also how situations are played out and game management's played out, which at the end of the day is something that I take a lot of pride in, our game management of what, how we kind of go about that. And Kellen and I have to be on the same page of that game management, of those different things. And so, it's still really important that I'm in there, but it is important that I'm able to stretch out and talk to other guys as well.
Nick, this past week, Brendan was talking about Kellen and said there's a difference between being smart and teaching smart. Just being in those offensive meetings with Kellen, what makes him such an effective teacher?
Yeah, I think Kellen is just an outstanding football coach and who communicates to try to touch every guy, right? And meaning, some guys are taught well. Learn well from the pictures of the game plan. Some guys learn audio. Some guys learn visual from the film, and Kellen hits every one of those things. And he has a good way about him of how he teaches and how he's implementing and installing things. I sit pretty much in a lot of when it's a team group meeting, I'll sit in the back there and listen to the offense of how that goes. The defensive room's a little crammed, so I sometimes I don't have a seat in there every time. So I go to all the different position meetings, but here I'm in this offensive one, and he has he's just got really good way of kind of connecting and talking to all the guys, and to be able to hit all the different types of learning styles there are.
Have you sort of learned, have you noticed Jalen being a little bit more engaged this year? He was on the radio earlier this week, mentioned maybe not having as much autonomy as it wanted kind of affected him. Have you noticed him being more engaged this summer?
Ever since I've been here, Jalen's been all win, trying to do everything he can do to win. So to say it's been more, or to be like he's done everything he's done every year, 2021, 22, 23, he's done everything he can do to help this football team win and put every bit of his heart and soul into it. To say it's more, I see the same Jalen, the guy that is working his butt off to help us win this first game, to work at his butt off to, make sure this team's in good position and that he's playing his best ball, because we know we need him to play his, good football for us to have a chance week in, week out. And so, yeah, again, I think he's had an outstanding training camp, and just with everything, the way he's played, the way he's passed, the way he's led, all those different things. And so that's what I'll say. That I just feel like he's had an unbelievable training camp, and that every year that I've been here, I've felt his desire and will to win. The guy is a winner. He's been a winner his entire life, and he knows how to win, and he goes about that process every day to win better than anybody I've ever been around.
Can I just follow up real quick?
Growth has he shown in that area, this summer?
Jeff wants to follow.
Well, Jeff can have a follow-up.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But how much growth has he shown in that area over the summer, compared
Hey,
to?
Sydney. What's up, babe? I'm good.
Is there a phone in the front row?
There's like 8 phones up here. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So, yeah, how much growth has Jalen shown in that area?
In what area?
As far as, being able to, see things better at the line and everything from what you've seen this
Again, Jalen Hurts is a player that has just continued to evolve as a player year in, year out. And anything that he's very, if he feels like there's a part of a game that he has to work on, and if we feel like there's a part of a game, he attacks that thing as harder than anybody. And it's really remarkable. Just the strides that he makes year in and year out. And so, you see it in that aspect, Martin, but you also see it in every part of his game, because he's working his butt off to continue to improve.
I think what Jalen said specifically was that he was basically told that he didn't have to worry about certain protection stuff because Kelsey handled that, and he said, was that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, different guys. Again, there's things that happen at the line of scrimmage. There's some teams that it's all the quarterback. There's some teams that it's all the center. There's some teams that's a mix, and and so again, it was Jalen being able to do some other things at the line of scrimmage, and Kelsey handling a big portion of it. What he said is, what he said is 100% true.
Yeah, related to that with Cam. Sorry.
Did you get a question yet, Zach?
That's okay.
I think you both had a question.
With Cam, now that he is the guy who is in charge of the offensive line, have you noticed any differences in his demeanor now that he has to be that guy?
Yeah, Cam. I think Cam is just a natural leader as well, and but Cam wasn't making the calls. Last year he didn't have to, right? And so now he still does, and he does now, right? And because you get up to the line of scrimmage, you put everybody on the same page with the run game, put everybody on the same page with the pass game, and then. So yeah, Cam's done a nice job, but we got a bunch of guys up there that can lead and kind of help out, because really at the end of the day, and I'll say it kind of, I've said it to the guys, this game's so hard, right? This game is you got great athlete versus great athlete, and we're going to lose some one-on-ones here and there, but what's so important is that you don't give up any freebies, right? And communication and everybody being on the same page is so important, right? Because that's what leads to an explosive play, is everybody being on the exact same page, right? And why football is so cool is there's 11 guys, and then there's 53 guys on the same team that have to be on the same page. And there's 11 guys on a play that have to be on the same page for that play to work. And when you're not on the same page, that leads to a negative play, which kills drives and stops points. And so again, we have so many guys, different guys that can do that. But that's what, again, is so cool about football, that man, we are a team. If we can all, if we all link together as a team, right, that's what's going to give us our best chance to win games. That's what's going to give everybody a best chance to be the best version of themselves.
In week one games, you're 3-0 in your career, one of only 3 coaches to be a perfect in week one games. As much as you've tried to change things, have you looked at what's worked going into a season for you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, good question, Zach. Of course we have. Yeah, like what are the keys to each? And I'm not going to get into, hey, here are our keys for this game or that game. But as I've told you, I've done so much studying as far as, what's the key to coming off of a bye week? What's the key to coming off of going into a Thursday night game? What's the keys to opening up the season? And every coach I've ever been around that I love and respect and look up to and use as a mentor have been in a first game of the season. Right now, Coach Karras may not have ever been in I say Coach Karras because I call him for advice still, but he may not have ever been in a Thursday night game or anything like that. But but everybody's been in an opener, and it's the same stuff that always comes back to you in the openers. This is important. This is important. You guys saw Tony Dungy at practice the other day. I asked him what's important in your eyes when you were coach for the openers, and so it's the same things that come back to you. So you really what you try to do, Zach, is really focus in on those things that deep in your heart and through the research that you've done through different coaches, different players, stuff like that, of what has been important for success in game one and for our success in game one, and try to repeat those things. And that's what we've done.
With all the changes you made offensively, what gives you the most confidence that this won't grow stale this year?
Yeah, we're just excited about the pieces that we have. We're excited about the coaches that we have, and we're excited to go rip it. Go ahead, EJ. Or sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Every year you have that meeting when it comes to roles for every guy's and specific teams. How is Jalen's role changing from last year to this year?
Yeah, Jalen is at the forefront. This is his team, right? This is, he's a captain. He's the quarterback. And, he touches the ball every play. I felt like there was a lot of very similar coaching points that I was saying to him as far as his role goes that I've said the last couple years. He's the one who's, touching the ball every play, so he's the one who's got to make sure everybody's on the same page. And so, there was a lot of similarities. And some guys did have similarities. Some guys have new roles. Some guys have the same roles. But I do think what's important is everybody knows what their role is. Everybody has to dominate their role. And everybody's role, while not being the same, everybody's role is important. Chris?
We got to go. We got 2.5. All right, thanks, guys.